All right. Good afternoon, everybody. This is one of the last sessions, so appreciate that you guys showed up. I'm Ali Marzban. I'm the Director of Data Science and Analytics with NOV. I believe this is the slides for it. Jay, you want to introduce yourself, please?
Hi, my name is Yoon, and I'm a data manager of data science and applied AI with NOV. Thank you.
All right. I am going to show you guys a very cool generative AI case study that we did with NOV. The work that we are talking about has been presented at OTC. For the people who are not from the energy sector, OTC is Offshore Technology Conference. And believe it or not, the number of people at OTC is more than the people that we have here. It's about like 30,000 compared to, I believe, 22,000 that joined AI Summit today. So there is much more people, a little bit bigger, but not as exciting as this one. This is much more exciting. But the work that we have has been presented at OTC, and there is a paper out. If you guys are interested, I can send it out to you guys later, or reach out or download it online. It should be available. The work that I'm going to talk about is about a pain point that we had. I was on a panel with Julian a couple of days ago, and one of the things that I mentioned during that panel was that we reach out to customers and ask about their pain point first before providing a solution. And this is one of the pain points that they have. And we have internally as well. Let me give you a quick quiz. In this one, I will show you a page. This is a typical mud report that we're getting from our other clients that is coming toward us. And it is pretty hectic to find some of the informations in these mud reports that are coming on daily basis. For example, in this one, if you can find the water volume percentage, that will be great. I will just give you like 30 seconds or so to try to figure out the water volume percentage in this mud report that we are getting from one of our vendors. You see? It's difficult. I told you. So this is something that we have multiple analysts that are dealing with this on a daily basis. And each vendor or customer is providing a different type of mud report with a different format on a daily basis. It is very difficult to figure out where is every piece of information over there. And they get that information and try to manually put it inside the documentations or the Power BI system that we have. And they're repeating this process for more than 60 different variables. And there is like 200, 300 mud reports coming in. For each analyst, it takes like at least an hour to do this, like get the right information, put it in the right format. And as I mentioned, all of them are not like each other. So the challenges that we had here in the mud reports were, first of all, the templates are inconsistent. They are not look like each other. They are different. Each one of the vendors or the clients is sending a different type of mud report to us. And there is a high workload, and it is very, very time consuming for our analysts to do this on a daily basis. And they will get bored as well. It has a lot of error as well. If you put some kind of water percentage inside, there is a lot of error that is associated with putting these things manually into the system. And also, we don't have a centralized location to just put them in our system over there. Mud reports are coming through emails. They put them in, and then there is nowhere that they are saving it. So the goal for this project was to improve the turnaround for the customers and also make it more accurate and efficient for NOV equipment, and also keep NOV as the #1 solid control provider in the market as well. Now I will leave it to Jay, who is much smarter than me, to talk about the architecture and the things associated with the smart report project.
Okay. Thank you, Ali. So we're going to briefly overview of the current processes that we are dealing with. And, oh, I think this is yours.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. So the process before was like this. The mud reports, we have hundreds of reports per day that are coming from multiple vendors. And then they receive the email, they receive the reports in the email, and an engineer or the analyst that we have get the PDF. They will review it, and then they will put it inside the template or pre-configured analysis that we have. And that document is generated. Then they may or may not put it in the team shared storage. And then out of those reports or that they manually put in, there will be a Power BI that will be shown over there. So as you can see, it is very, very manual work going on here. It's not automated at all. So this is the process that we are using it right now after this case has been delivered to us to find a solution using Gen AI. The PDF from the emails will, through an automated process, go through Gen AI. And then it automatically deliver the data that we have from the PDF, read it, and provide it to that manual process that we mentioned, automatically just fill it in. And also it has a centralized location, a cloud storage to put it inside of our system, and it automatically update the Power BI dashboard that we have for it, the BI dashboard that we have for it. And these are some of the terminologies that we are using as well, for example, for our system. This is one of the phases that we have done. We are still improving on this project as well. So I believe this is yours now.
Thank you, Ali, again. Okay, so I'm going to briefly overview of the current implementation on AWS and Databricks together. So when mode report provider are sending emails to dedicated email server or an account, then we pick up the mode report from the attachment, and it is sent to the designated S3 bucket, and Databricks has access to that S3 bucket, and we're picking up and starting to process those mails on an event basis. LLM is picking those mod reports, and then LLM to extract formulated information, and then they're kept in the mod report table in Delta Lake. And also, we have another route to trigger this event as well. Individual users receive the email, and then they dump all those mod reports sent to our dedicated email addresses, and then it also starts the processing the mod report. And also, we set up some kind of additional manual validation way as well, using Streamlit. So mod report automation user interface is up, and then after, individual employees are just checking their employment status and then accessibility to the application, and then they can dump those one and then validate visually, and then they are sent to Delta Lake, and then all the mod reports and those things are on demand basis accessible from Power BI and Databricks to the mod report table. Okay, and this is also we added agentic system. So each of the functionality we are working interactively with the agentic large language model, agentic system. So when output template came to prompt, and then we send it to multi-agent system, and then pre-trained LLM is processing those one, and we push it to extracted mod report data in Delta table. This is the processes. And yeah, this is a little bit more details about how we are working with those one, some of the OCR, some of the table managing libraries, how those are working together, showing in this diagram. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next page. And in order to address the AI hallucination, maybe even though you will figure it out, every different try, no matter how well you define the prompt, sometimes it makes some mistakes. In every table, sometimes hey, this one's supposed to be outer diameter. Sometimes it is filled in the inner diameter. In order to address those like issues, we use some kind of a majority voting system inside of it, running in parallel to get to reduce this kind of errors on the AI hallucination. This one is available because this is not chatbot. This is just the automation. So we're just running this one parallel in the back, and then we're getting more accuracy achieved throughout the system. Okay, and also some of the overview of the how we utilize and analyze this dashboard for client. So when data are extracted from the mod report, those are extracted, like this is just the intermediate form, but anyway, these are extracted in this way and then kept in Delta Lake. This is one of the user interface that we are using, just a drag and drop file, and then like there's some like configurations you want to do, like single run, multi-run, to reduce the hallucination and what model you want to use. After that, like these are all saved in the Databricks as a Delta table, and Power BI has access to this Delta table to display in our client's on-demand dashboard. And this is the example how we use Power BI. Previously, and surprisingly, there's like over 40 different like solid control companies available in the oil and gas field. None of the companies are having this kind of capability, even though like from the like AI or data analytics people, this is very simple, but none of these are available in the market. So for example, here, this is just a historical visualization of the how module reports are being used for the bringing the insight to the customer. For example, here, from the top dashboard, the blue shows the water volume, and the yellow shows the solid volume, and then orange shows the oil volume. You can see like throughout the time, what is the like mud composition changes over time. So from the beginning, you're using more like a water-based mud, especially using like vertical sections or some more easy, well-planned. And then as time goes by, as they move to directional drilling or more complicated, like well-planned, and then it slightly, or it changes to like different mud composition to manage the mud properties. And also in the next graph over here, this is also a good KPI that like mod engineers are supposed to watch on a daily basis. But in order to get these information, they are just looking up mod report or everything one by one individually and getting this kind of idea. But we can show this one on a one place for every like clients that having access to this one. So this one is showing like how much of the mod that you are losing on a daily like mod activities or mod operations and stuff. Okay. And also this one shows that how mod density changes over like depths, mod density, viscosities, and those kind of mod property, chemical properties changes over operation. And also the next one is showing how much of the volume they are drilling over well operations and stuff. So these are the how we use bringing insights to the customer in the dashboard. Okay, and next one to you.
Yes, it's working. All right. So as you can see on this slide, we have about 6 vendors that are coming to NOV for this solution, this type of solution that we are offering. And there is 80 plus documents on daily basis that is going through this system. And we have tested it multiple times, and we have 99.9% accuracy, which is much higher than whatever that analyst was doing it before that. But what I'm trying to show you in the next slide is a lot of people in different industry and energy industry in a specific are talking about AI and Gen AI and use cases of it and how much money it is going to generate for the energy industry. It is very difficult to calculate that. The ROI that you are getting out of an AI solution that you're providing for the company if you're not in tech, for example, you are in manufacturing or energy, it's very, very difficult to put a dollar sign on it. You can have a chatbot to help coding. You can have, I don't know, an internal RAG system that is generating some useful information for you through chatbots. But it is very difficult to say, okay, this Gen AI solution that we are offering is providing this amount of money for the company. This project, though, was one of the projects that you can have actual numbers for it. So this is the cost-effective and scalable. You can see some numbers here. We have about 100 reports per day that is going through the system. Before that, we had 2 or 3 analysts assigned to these to analyze each one of them. As I mentioned, each one of these reports was taking more than an hour to put the data inside of it. Some of the documents that we are getting are even a scanned version of the PDF. They may not have the good quality. And to be honest, I have seen some of the PDFs. You cannot differentiate sometimes between a 6 or an 8 in the scanned version. It's very difficult. But the AI system is doing a much better job in identifying and differentiating between the numbers and put the right number over there. It is costing about 10 cents per report. So it is very, very cost effective. Just imagine that an hour time of an analyst at minimum is definitely more than 10 cents. So this is something that you can show for an ROI or a cost-saving basis for this particular project. And it is available 24/7 as well. I mean, a lot of people that we have may not be available 24/7. You'll receive an email from a client on a Friday night. Nobody is there to just put the numbers in. You need to wait till Monday till somebody comes in and put the numbers. This is automated. This is getting all of the data inside of it. This is not the only Gen AI project that we have. We have multiple chatbots and stuff as well. And we have something similar to this for the quotation as well, which we streamlined it. We made it really, really streamlined and very fast to generate quotations and stuff. And that one has some good ROIs on it as well. We do not have time for the questions and answer, unfortunately. Our colleagues at BP have another presentation after us. So if you guys want to reach out or ask any questions, please just stop by after the session, and we'll be available outside to talk to you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for being here. I'm Krishanu Roy. I'm a lead architect at BP. I look after the data platform architecture. Joining me is Srinivas, who is the tech lead. He's a tech lead for our data platforms. Okay. So today we are going to speak about our data management journey, how it evolved, the challenges we faced, and how Unity Catalog helped us build a more governed and scalable foundation for data in BP. So regardless of the industry we are in, the challenges are the same. The story is the same, right? We are generating massive volumes of data, but collecting the data is the easy part. Converting it into something useful, something trustworthy, something governed, something scalable is the challenge, right? And BP didn't happen overnight. It took years of iteration, self-learning, and sometimes we had to reevaluate our complete journey. All right, so where was I? Yeah. Okay, so at BP, this journey didn't happen overnight. We have years of iteration, self-learning, and at times we had to reevaluate our directions entirely. And this journey still continues. So we're going to walk you through this journey, not as a blueprint, but as a real-world example of how a large-scale data architecture can evolve and how Databricks Unity Catalog can help us along the way to govern and actually address many of the challenges along the way. Right? I think you guys have to come and press it for me. All right. So I'm quickly take you through our landscape and our philosophy. At BP, we see data as something that increases in value as is refined, from raw facts to information, knowledge, and ultimately wisdom and insight. And actually, it has a big business impact on everything that we have. So as you can see, we operate at a very large scale, right? Large scale for us, I mean, 80 billion data streaming data points, 2 billion streaming tags. At that scale, we cannot treat data management as an afterthought. Our philosophy has three key areas, three items that we look after. One is accessibility. Data should be easy to find and use. Reusability. Data should be shareable across use cases. And scalability with governance. For us, it is important that innovation isn't slowed down by risk or complexity. So this balance between innovation and control and empowerment is something that we want to build towards. Next slide, please. Yeah. Yep. No, what happened? Now I'm going to put the whole thing back. Yeah. It was an automation on this system, but I didn't have automation. No. All right, so I'll start, and by the way I finish, it'll probably reach the end, right? So our journey started at 2014. That's when we set up our first on-prem upstream data lake. At the time, it was mostly to serve out data to external vendors, a Hadoop implementation, nothing too complicated, right? 2015, 2016, we started building our streaming capabilities. 2016, we laid the foundation to shift to public cloud. And we migrated our upstream data lake to Azure by 2017. After 2019, we started making key changes to our data architecture. We started exploring architecture models like data mesh, data fabric. And at the same time, we introduced Databricks as our compute layer, since by the time it was a proven and reliable option for our scale and needs. At this point, our data environment was maturing, and it was clear that our governance framework wasn't keeping pace. So we attempted to address this by building our own entitlement and access management framework. However, that approach started showing limitations, particularly when new versions of Spark was released and as our data usage expanded across different teams. So by this time, our data volume was increasing rapidly. So were the number of users and use cases. And the architecture we had in place wasn't able to support the scale efficiently, right? So in 2022, we reassessed and introduced the Data Hub approach to bring in more consistency and structure. While it was able to address some of the governance issues, it wasn't fully able to resolve the fragmentation. Teams still operated in silos, and the experience around data discoverability and usability wasn't consistent across the different hubs. So 2024, it was clear that we needed a more cohesive solution, one that provided better governance, supported collaborations between different teams, better discoverability. So that's when we started to move towards a unified data platform strategy, with Unity Catalog playing a very central, a pivotal role in that strategy. All right. Now, okay. So I guess can this just move like this? Okay. All right. So as I said, our journey was filled with challenges. Okay. Despite strong investment over the past decade, we had no shared platform roadmap. Our governance policies were fragmented, our KPIs weren't aligned, and data was being managed differently across different teams. We had Databricks for a long time by this time, and our workspaces were proliferating. And as I said, our governance was fragmented. There was no central view into usage, access, or value. Auditing was incomplete, and reusability was minimal because discoverability was low. So in short, our platform wasn't resilient enough to support the speed and scale at which business was evolving. We got to go to the next slide. Yeah. All right, so Databricks Unity Catalog helped us address many of these challenges head on. We were able to consolidate 200 plus workspaces under a single governance layer. And that enabled us to have a central access management. It provided us with capturing data lineage across our data products, better auditability, and then helped significantly with our cloud cost optimization. It standardized the user experience across different users, made it easier for data to be discovered, accessed, and shared. And we worked very closely with the Databricks engineering folks to execute this migration efficiently. And this collaboration allowed us to align the governance framework natively with the platform capabilities, rather than layering it on as an afterthought. So now we have a platform that is built to support federated data models across different systems while providing central visibility and control. So as we move towards unified data platform, We feel we can move faster, work more collaboratively, and govern more efficiently without bringing friction into the system. Right? So the journey isn't still over. I mean, there's still a lot of work to be done, but we feel we're in a strong position. And most importantly, we think that end users, the right person can find the right data, make the right decision at the right time. So with that, I hand it over to Srini, who's going to take us through the migration process, how we did that, what we learned, and what made it successful.
Sure. Before I go forward into the migration journey, I want to add a couple of more points on this. The features in generally, when it comes to the Unity catalog, what drove to this decision also. I want to highlight especially the delta sharing capabilities, because we have data in different hubs in the past. But the data sharing within the company or data sharing to outside the company was a major problem which we had, where we are having copies of data being shared, people are doing something. And again, the digital security was not happy with the way we are handling the things, because we actually handle the situation where we are copying the data back to a location, and then we are manually putting the controls in terms of how to share that data. So this delta sharing capability especially helped us in terms of how efficiently we can share that data, so that, like what Krishanu was alluding, right? We were trying to avoid the duplication of the data altogether by sharing the data efficiently. In the past, because people could not discover the data properly, they were just duplicating the data, assuming that they don't have the data at all. And again, when it comes to outside the company also, we didn't have an efficient mechanism, but that is a very important feature which enabled us in this journey. And again, when it comes to the governance aspect also, the discoverability in terms of finding the data across the Databricks estate was a major problem in the past. Now, as Krishanu was talking about, we had 250 plus workspaces which we had in the past. And again, if we didn't have the Unity catalog's capability in terms of how to discover the data and technically, again, it's a major problem which we had in the past, which was resolved as a part of this. And again, the lineage is one more big aspect which we were looking at, because we always had a requirement to have a technical lineage of the products what we are building. If a pipeline builds a pipeline to pipeline, right? The final asset, whatever we are talking about, that technical lineage in terms of what took to create that asset, that visibility did not exist out of the box. And this Unity catalog gave us that capability, which was very, very important for us actually. And again, when it comes to the access management also, as a platform team, we were actually doing the stuff manually in terms of somebody putting us a request, we are going and providing the access. But now we got the capabilities where we were able to automatically, via APIs provided, we gave us a interface where somebody like a user can come to a portal, they can request something, and the API will be actually granting the access with the right approvals in place. So that is the automated process right now. In the past, it was a manual process which took a day or so. Now it is all automatic as long as the approvals are in place. So I want to highlight a few points, but I don't want to go over everything though. Yeah. So this is the migration journey I want to talk about a little bit more. So in the first step, as everywhere, we actually got the executive sponsorship in terms of the sponsorship in terms of the top-down, because we have like several segments in the company, right? We have P&O, we have business services, we have enterprise, we have a bunch of entities who are supposed to work with us in terms of this journey, because all these 250 workspaces are used by different sub-entities and entities. So we got the executive sponsorship in terms of the push for us to go and get the Unity catalog migrated. So that executive sponsorship was really, really important, so that the executive sponsors who also worked with the Databricks and got the right support from the Databricks also, because we were one of the first major clients who actually started the Unity catalog migration in 2024. At that point of time, we did not have the tools and the automation also in place. As a part of the journey, we worked with Databricks, who also worked with us to figure out the automated process through this journey. Right? After the second step, we were talking about, we also came up with the FM plan in terms of what are all the tangible benefits and intangible benefits, what we are going to get out of this Unity catalog. And we actually went and worked with all the sub-entities to say that if we go here, this is the value what we get out of it, because nobody wants to do some migration just like that, right? Because they have other priorities to take care of. Right? So we had that sponsorship, and also we worked with all the business entities to get that buy-in in terms of why we need Unity catalog and its capabilities. And then the third step is the key step, where we actually came up with the key design documents in terms of key design decisions in terms of what is the metastore design, in the sense like how many metastores we are going to have, what is the catalog design. All that technical design documents we came up with before even we actually engage the users to go and do something, because we want to have that store setup and also the final design in terms of how things work. And we only worked with the pilot users, in the sense like we picked up pilot users from different entities and worked with them in terms of identifying the use cases after the design is in place. And then the fourth step we are talking about, this is also a critical step, where we actually did the scripted automation in terms of doing the upgrades altogether. And again, one part of it is to upgrade the scripts. And the second part is actually we ran into this issue on the second step, where we were not able to sync the Active Directory users efficiently back into the account console, because we have hundreds of thousands of users. That script, that did not even work. And we had to go all the way back to the Databricks, who actually had to bring in some engineering teams. And also we also work with the Databricks engineering team to get that script in place so that we can move forward with the migration. And then we also, as Krishanu was talking earlier, right, we came up with the access management framework, where we are able to go and get the access to the users through automation than a manual process what we had in the past. That scripting work or the technical migration was done before even the actual migration. And then we also came up with like something called a RACI matrix, which was very, very important, because in the past, when I was in Hive Metastore world, things worked differently. But when I go back to the Unity catalog, the things operated completely differently. So what we did is basically came up with a model in terms of what is the R&R in terms of who does what. And also we trained the users saying that in the new world, after you go back to the Unity catalog, this is what is the central team's responsibility, this is what your responsibility will this model work. Because in the past, they were able to do everything, but in the Unity catalog model, some of the permissions will be taken away, and that should be managed centrally by design. So we had to train the users on that part, and after that, we actually did a master plan in terms of how we are going to do the migration. We did the pilot migration for like 20 use cases initially, and then we did a mass migration for like 200 plus workspaces across entities in 6 months. And then these two are pretty much like we are talking about how did we go and do the weekly reporting, etc., in terms of how the entities were progressing the Unity catalog migration altogether. And then, so I want to spend a few minutes on the tangible benefits in terms of what are the technical benefits, what are the financial benefits, what are the operational improvements, and what are the new capabilities, what Unity Catalog gave us the capabilities, right? One thing I particularly want to call out in this one is actually we had a major issue where we were tied up with a custom entitlement framework, which was tied to a version of 9.1 of Databricks runtime. So that problem was a BP specific problem because we were using the older runtime, which we had a custom framework. So now as a part of the upgrade, that problem was resolved because we were able to go back to the latest version of the DBR. And this particular one, we are also talking about the centralized governance in terms of visibility. Centralized governance really, really helped us in terms of how do we handle sensitive data, like what is called out here. And then in the second one, in the financial benefits, right? We had a job which was actually costing us thousands of dollars a week, like using an Overwatch, where we are spending the money on that job to figure out how many jobs are, what is the cost of each job running across the estate. So now Databricks Unity Catalog gives that capabilities out of the box via system tables. So we were able to decommission that job and started saving thousands of dollars every week using that system tables which are out of the box. And we also did the consolidation of several of the workspaces as a part of this UC migration journey that also significantly added to the cost savings for our estate actually. And operational improvement, I already called out about the data access management framework, which is a very important one where people are really happy with the way they're getting the access to the data because now it's much faster, there's no human intervention other than the approvals actually. And the last one, again, you saw in the keynote today morning also, right? A lot of capabilities, whatever are announced today, are only possible for BP going forward because we have Unity Catalog already in place. We can use most of the capabilities tomorrow because we have the Unity Catalog already in place, and we are pretty much in private preview of most of the features with the Databricks already. Yep. And here, again, key takeaways, again, I want to call out the last part particularly because in the past, we were only having the Databricks back in Azure, but BP decided that we are going to have Databricks in AWS also as a part of this journey. And again, we are going to extend the partnership in terms of Palantir and SAP also, where we are going to use the Unity Catalog to find the integration between the Databricks and Palantir, and Databricks and SAP also using Unity Catalog. That is one big thing. And the first point I want to call out is about the people are always complaining about the accessibility to the data. That is actually really, really easy way to get that data, and that is what is the feedback what we're getting from the customers.
That's it, Bill?
Yep.
Thank you very much.